Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear students and viewers, Assalamu alaikum. I am Fayaz Ahmad, teacher HS Gundchabutra. In today's virtual class, we will continue from where we left yesterday. Yesterday we discussed about the judicial system of India, which is the 5th chapter of your textbook, class 8th. We have completed the role of judiciary in India, and we know that broadly speaking, the role of judiciary in India can be divided into three broad categories. First, dispute resolution; second, judicial review; third, the enforcing fundamental rights. In today's virtual class, we will discuss about the independence of judiciary and the structure of courts in India, or structure of judicial system in India. So far as the independence of judiciary is concerned, Indian Constitution provides for independence of judiciary. One aspect of this independence is that we have separation of powers over here. We have separation of powers. हमारी जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन है वो guarantees the independence of judiciary. Independence means the judicial system is free, and one aspect of this independence is separation of powers. ये separation of powers क्या होता है? We have three organs of government. First is legislature, second is executive, third is judiciary. This legislature and executive, they cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. This is the separation of powers. इनके अपने अपने powers है. Legislature has the powers to make laws. इसी तरह executive has the power to implement those laws, and judiciary decides matters, and judiciary decides whether a particular law is acceptable or not. This judiciary, it is independent. These two organs, the legislature and executive, they cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. This is called the independence of judiciary, and this is important. Independence of judiciary is important. फर्ज करें आपके जो इलाके में जो politician है, if he was able to influence judiciary, अगर वो आपके जो इलाके का जज है, जो आपके इलाके का कोर्ट है, उसका जो जज है, अगर आपके इलाके का पॉलिटिशियन उसको इन्फ्लुएंस करके उसको रिमूव कर सकता है, imagine the impact of this process on the decision making of the judges. क्या वो जज उस पॉलिटिशियन के खिलाफ डिसीजन दे सकता है? Probably he will decide matters in his favor, because no judge want to be get removed from his office or transferred to some other place. So in order to protect us from the misuse of power by the politicians and other influential people, Indian Constitution provides for the independence of judiciary. हमारी जो judiciary है, that is independent. The legislature and the executive cannot interfere in the work of judiciary. In other words, courts are not under government. Courts are not under government. It is the independence of this judiciary that protects us from the misuse of power by legislatures and executive and other influential people. This independence of judiciary, it also protects our fundamental rights. The citizens of India are provided with many fundamental rights that are important for our survival. those fundamental rights are protected by this judiciary only because of its independence. So this was about the independence of judiciary. Now let's go to the structure of courts. I am briefly discussing these issues because we have to finish it in limited time, or we have time constraint, in other words. So far as the structure of judiciary in India is concerned, there are three levels of courts in India. Three levels of courts. For each state, our country India, it is divided into many states, and each state is further divided into districts. Each state is divided into districts. We have, at district level, we have the subordinate or district courts. We have subordinate, or what we call them the district courts. These subordinate courts, they can be at either at district level or at state level, in other and they can be in the towns also. So at the lower level we have subordinate and district courts. We have large number of districts in India, and hence we have so many these subordinate and district courts in India. These usually हमारा जो आना जाना होता है कॉमन पीपल का, वो ज़्यादातर इन्हीं डिस्ट्रिक्ट एंड सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट्स में होता है. And we have a district magistrate in these subordinate courts who resolves different issues between people, or between the state and the people. So at the lower level we have subordinate courts. At the state level we have high courts. Each state has one high court. This is the apex court in the state. High court is the apex court in the state. At state level we have high courts. And at the country level, or at the apex, we have a Supreme Court. We have Supreme Court. This Supreme Court is located in the capital of India, that is New Delhi. This is the apex of our judicial system in India. This Supreme Court, it is presided over by Chief Justice of India. So at the lower level we have lower courts, which are also called the subordinate or district courts. At state level we have high courts, and at the apex we have only one court, that is called the Supreme Court, which is presided over by the Chief Justice of India. Are these different levels of courts integrated? Yes. क्या ये इंटीग्रेटेड है और ये सेपरेट है? So far as the judicial system in India is concerned, it is an integrated judicial system. ये integrated judicial system क्या होता है? It means the decision made by the higher court is binding on the lower court. अगर high court कोई decision देता है, this lower court, it cannot reject the high court's decision. In the same way, Supreme Court's decision is binding on all courts, high courts and lower courts also. दूसरी तरह अगर हम बोलेंगे, if we can we have a appellate system here. If we believe that the judgment passed by the lower court is not just or is unjust, we can approach to the high court. And if we still believe that the decision made by the high court is unjust, we can go to the Supreme Court. And the final authority lies with the Supreme Court in that case. अगर हमें लगता है कोई डिसीजन जो है जो सबऑर्डिनेट कोर्ट ने दिया है वो अनजस्ट है, हम हाई कोर्ट में अपील कर सकते हैं एंड देन अल्टीमेटली इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट. So this is about the structure of courts in India. So today we finished two subtopics. First, independence of judiciary in India.